Now, this next one night is one that I know people have gone back and forth on. Like I said, I did a video about this earlier in the week, and this I had most comments were about Mindy, were about like this character. A lot of people want to see this character die, and I'll give my argument in a second why I don't think that would really be the best move for Scream 7, but I am curious what you think about the first Meeks Martin twin.
Yeah, listen. The twins are very interesting. I think 5 and 6, you got this roller coaster for both of them as far as their character and what they did, what they didn't do, what happened to them, what didn't happen to them. Jasmine, and of course we're going to get to Mason as well, but Jasmine is so talented. I do think there's times when she wasn't given the proper vehicle, to do what she was meant to do as a character. I know she's the stand-in for Randy or Kirby, but I also feel like she was never able to really like make it her own. Like when Hayden did what she did in 4, it didn't feel like some lesser copy of Jamie Kennedy. It felt like Hayden doing her thing, spunky and blah 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 blah. She could throw a crack at you like a whip, boom, and she was very, very articulate, and she could just destroy you with words. That's the type of character she was. Mindy, on the other hand, it just seems like they haven't given her enough to do. My hope, and this is what I'm going to say, she survives, and my hope is that in this movie she really gets some really cool moments. I mean, she definitely looks badass in the trailer, when she's fighting with Ghostface. Like, I'm glad to see that. Even if she does die, I'm glad to see that she has that moment instead of always getting stabbed and kind of just like, you know what I mean? Like, let's go, let's do something, so I really think she will survive. I really do.
And to that point, I just think it would be it would be defeatist to just kill this character off and say, well, that didn't work, let's move on. Jasmine is a good actress. You made a really good point saying that she is very talented. I love her on what little I have seen of Yellow Jackets. Please, for the love of God, no spoilers in the chat. That is such a good show. If I have that spoiled, I'm going to lose my mind on stream. But what I have seen of her in other projects, I feel like she totally shines. In Scream, I feel like she's limited because she's being forced into a role that, in my humble opinion, wasn't necessarily being approached in the best way. Our buddy Fate goes on a lot of rants, sometimes some crazy rants that I just can't get behind. But the one thing I do definitely agree with him on is how they're approaching Mindy as a character. I just think that she's the exact opposite of Randy, and that's why it's not necessarily working. So can they course correct with this film? I think it would be way cooler opposed to killing her. I think it would be way cooler if they could find a way to make this character work in like a new way, to make her stand out as a Randy character and not just repeat exactly the same thing as Randy, but give her her own thing to do. That does work, and not just being wrong about everything and yelling at everybody about it.
Right. I mean, it would be cool to see if the movie had enough twists and turns or enough moments where we're kind of in the dark a little bit. Well, it would be cool if Mindy was able to figure some stuff out, like to kind of help lead, whoever she's with. Obviously, she'll probably be around Chad and probably Gail, but you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of, in other words, prove herself. She comes across as intelligent, right? It's like, I want to see it. I want to see it in action. Don't tell me, show me. And that would be cool, I think. And it'd be a big win. I know myself, and I know you and others, look at Melissa, from 5 to 6. I thought they did some great stuff with her. She had moments to shine more. She had moments to show how smart of a final girl she could be. She was always the one saying, yep, let's get out of New York. And I'm like, yep, that's what I would do. She was ready to make the best choice almost each time, even though sometimes, circumstances happened or some other character said, no, like Tara, no, I'm not leaving New York. And it's like, wah, wah. But Melissa as Sam was great in that film. I would love to see Mindy have that type of level up.
I totally agree. I really, really, really just want to see that happen for this character, because it did happen with, with Sam, and it was a character that, again, I think they struggled to kind of figure out all the way, but I think they did get there in that last entry. So can they make that happen with Mindy here? I really hope so.